Yeah, a couple of grown men crying over a droid in a Star Wars
Getting
show.
knocked over by a hologram or whatever.
We're texting back and forth. Travis and I are texting back and forth. Are you seeing this? Oh my God, tears are rolling down my face.
The thing that killed me was my mom walked through. That's the thing.
She walked in and said, "What are you watching?"
Mom, you're blocking the hologram.
Okay. No, I actually paused the show and explained the entire plot of the show to my mom. Crying.
Oh my God. Hi, good morning. Here's another reference.
Good morning, good day.
Here's another reference I don't get, but it sounds really funny. You said, how nice to have normal White House holiday decorations that don't look like Vecna's lair in Stranger Things. I could just tell that's funny, and I don't even know what. I don't.
You might be in good company because I recall that tweet didn't get a whole lot of traction. Like, what are you talking? It was a show. It was just out over the summer. Vecna was the major villain in Stranger Things, and yeah.
Unless Rachel Maddow said it or it's on Grey's Anatomy, I didn't see it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it did. It looked very much the same. He had like these weird Christmas tree looking things that contained human bodies. And it was crazy scary, and of course that was what Melania's.
They look like Melania's menstrual trees.
Decorations, the effing Christmas.
Yes, the Christmas.
Yeah. Those whatever those red things were that she put in the hallways of the White House. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You said not paying here once again, Bob. You always make this point. Somebody tweeted, "It feels like by talking about the dinner, the Nazi dinner, even to denounce the attendees, we're doing all these attention-hungry narcissists a favor." And you said, "No, not paying attention to them is the favor." Let's say the Republicans stop paying attention to Hillary Clinton, Black Lives Matter, Hunter Biden, Planned Parenthood from now on, just to deprive them of attention. Would that be good news or bad news for Democrats? While he's still, I don't know, apparently the front runner, one of them for the Republican nomination for president, it's relevant, right?
Yeah.
Sadly.
I find this is increasingly a losing argument for me. I feel like I'm way out on a limb. It's like, it's me and Chris. We're just standing way out there going, hey, look, you know what? These people are villains and we need to pay attention to villains. You know, the Sun Tzu, know your enemy thing. Evil thrives in darkness. In fact, Travis, that was from Andor.
Yes.
Evil, the empire thrives in darkness.
Nerd, wake up.
They literally said, you would like this speech, Stephanie.
I think someone else said that before.
It was great. It was great, and it stirred me up. It motivated me to tweet more about how we should pay attention to these villains, who, by the way, are already famous. We're not going to make them more famous by following their words. We're going to hopefully help to marginalize them. But I think it's a good point that those of us who are saying, hey, you know what you do with Donald Trump and Elon Musk and all these guys is you block them and go plug your ears and say, la, 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 not listening. Well, if they were doing that to Democrats, oh, happy day. Wouldn't that be great if they started, if they actually, shut up about Hunter Biden or Hillary Clinton or emails or whatever they're talking about today. That would be a wonderful, liberating moment where we would finally be able to get some things done without having to constantly deflect this nonsense.
Yeah.
So flip that around and imagine what it would be like if we stopped paying attention to their political leadership.
Here's my problem with this story. This is the biggest big bag of rats story ever. I don't know. They're all liars. They're all Nazis. They're all anti-Semites. They're all awful. I don't even know who to believe, right? So this was the NBC News story, right? Mark Caputo is the one that quoted far-right troll Milo, what's his name?
Yiannopoulos.
Saying that Trump fell prey to a trap designed to make Trump's life miserable by having him share a meal with neo-Nazi Nick Fuentes at Mar-a-Lago. Fuentes took to Telegram to call that report fake news. Okay. Yee's political advisor, Milo Yiannopoulos, has grown disillusioned with Trump and said he was the architect of the dinner trap. He said he knew the meeting would leak and he dispatched Fuentes just to make Trump's life miserable. Fuentes shot down that idea. My intention was not to hurt Donald Trump by attending the dinner. That's fake news. I love Donald Trump. Does anyone care which Nazi is lying?
No.
No.
Oh my God.
They're all different levels of horrendous.
Of awful. Yes.
And they're turning on each other.
Yeah.
We were saying before, wouldn't it be great if this was the thing that finally did him in? But we've been down this road many times before. Charlottesville, Helsinki, January 6th. The Republicans line up and condemn, just like Mitch McConnell did yesterday, just like he did right after January 6th. And then suddenly it's back to business as usual for the Republican Party,
Graham
which is
condemned.
constantly
Lindsey
circling
Graham
the
condemned
wagons
after
around
January
Trump.
6th.
So
went
Milo
back to
is,
him.
just to finish, is apparently Kanye's campaign manager.
Oh, God.
And said everybody, me included, loves Trump and wants 2016 Trump back. That still won't be enough to authentically beat what's his F, but at least would make the journey more interesting. So I just literally fight, big bag of Nazi rats. And
Yeah. Milo is the driver of the clown car. I don't think that's something to brag about.
Is he still
Look at
straight?
me. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He turned straight.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And by the way, I watched a Nick Fuentes video yesterday where he was talking about how all sex is gay sex.
Oh,
Straight
is it?
sex is gay sex. Gay sex is gay sex, of course. And
doing it right.
If you're doing it right. Thanks.
The only straight way to be is to be an incel, which calls to question, doesn't he know the first syllable of that stands for involuntary?
Yes.
You're supposed to involuntarily be celibate if you want to be an incel. It's all very confusing to me. I'm catching up to speed with Nick Fuentes' sexual logic. It doesn't make any sense.
God, that is not a phrase.
That's your own fault.
Not a phrase I ever want to hear
out of my
again.
mouth, and I'm going, boy, I wish I could stuff that back in.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
As we've said many times, gay sex is only dirty if you're doing it right. Okay. Hugo Lowell tweeted, Trump ultimately made clear that he fundamentally did not want to criticize white supremacist and anti-Semite Nick Fuentes after the dinner at Mar-a-Lago over fears that it might antagonize a devoted part of his base. And you just said this motive also explains why good people on both sides and stand back and stand by. He'll never renounce extremist groups that support him. And it goes to your point, Bob, about the rest of the Republican Party. Like, they'll condemn him until it seems like, the base is going to stick with him, and then they'll flip back again, right? I mean, that's...
Yeah. They've gone down this road of extremism, and so therefore, in order to be politically viable, they need to do two things, right? They need to appeal to the racist, misogynist, anti-Semites, people like Nick Fuentes, people like Kanye West, and so on. And then at the same time, they also have to make it as difficult as possible to vote. These are the two ways that the Republican Party gamed the system to maintain that level of extremism.
Yeah.
That is now all about the Red Hat Entertainment Complex, screaming and dividing and making sure that people hate Democrats just because the word Democrats or just because the word liberal in there. And that's the entire strategy. It's not based on anything substantive. It's just a marketing strategy.
Here's what kills me is when Mitch McConnell says stuff like this.
Let me just say that there is no room in the Republican Party for anti-Semitism
Yes,
or
there
white
is.
supremacy. And anyone meeting with people advocating that point of view, in
my
my
God.
judgment, are highly unlikely to ever be elected president of the United States.
He was elected president of the United States, illegitimately installed with Russia's help, but still, oh my God, Bob, absolutely they have found a home in the Republican Party. Nazis and anti-Semites and homophobes and every manner of bigot. Like people say, like not all Republicans are racist, but all racists seem to be Republican.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And let the countdown begin until Mitch McConnell says, I'm still going to vote for him. I'm still going to,
If he's
as long as he's the nominee of my party, I'm going to vote for him. And because the biggest threat to America is the radical progressive agenda. That's what they literally believe. I mean, that's what Bill Barr has said a number of times. He goes into a half an hour diatribe.
He's a complete criminal that should be indicted.
Yeah, why Trump is so awful and should be indicted, and then he says, "Oh yeah, well, I would completely, totally vote for him. I mean, that's the radical progressive agenda is the biggest threat to the country. So of course,
You're
I'd
correct.
vote for this criminal."
He does sound like Droopy Dog. Thank you, Bob. For pointing that out.
He's very even keeled, and that's how he gets away with saying the worst, most awful things in the world, and that's why I vote for him. Yeah.
It's double.
It just kind of fades out. It's like vocal fry.
It's double voice toy day on this.
Bill Barr's vocal fry. Yeah.
Oh God. That's the name of my next band.
Yes.
I heard you talking about Rachel Bidikofer's advice to all of us is to mock them, and I'm thinking Bob Cesca and I are on it. We are on it. But you just when you retweeted someone that said documents show why Apple pulling its Twitter ads is devastating for Elon Musk. In the first quarter of 2022, Apple was Twitter's top advertiser, accounting for nearly $50 million in revenue. And you just said ha 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 .gif.
Yes. And that's the thing. you can either mock them or just go right ahead and hide reply block when they show up in your mentions. That's a handy dandy trick. If you see a troll in your mentions, in your replies, you can just hit hide reply block. And I'm seeing your eyes like turn in circles, like Steve Zissou's crazy eyes. Like, what are you saying, Bob? But the other trick that I found that is also fun, that is even more fun than hide reply block on Twitter, is you can go to a troll's profile and you can remove them from following you and then mute them, and they will never know that you did both of those things. So they'll go in and try to harass you and scream at you, but they'll really just screaming into a void. That's my favorite little trick with trolls.
Yeah, and you also said something interesting. Scaring away normals is part of the plan. It leaves Twitter to the bros, fascists, and weirdos smothering pro-democracy messaging in time for 2024. And that's actually statistically true now. There was a Washington Post piece, I think the graph was going around Twitter yesterday, showing that all these major Republican lawmakers gained followers after Elon Musk took over, and then all these Democrats like Adam Schiff and AOC all lost followers when Elon Musk took over. And basically what's happening is the whatever you want to call them, pro-Trump, red hat bots and so on, are gaming the Twitter platform now to give increased reach and engagement on Republican accounts. Yeah. This is one of the many reasons why Elon Musk, running some sort of skeleton crew of two guys and himself and his pistol and his caffeine-free Diet Coke, that's why that scenario is dangerous, on top of the major data breach that happened a few days ago. Yeah. So you have a major data breach, and you have people gaming the Twitter algorithm to support Republicans. Plus now Elon Musk is opening up Blackgate Prison and releasing all the inmates into the streets of Gotham now. Yeah. And and that's making things even worse all around. Speaking of which, what is your talk to us about the one good eye conviction, as we like to call it? One good eye. Stuart Rhodes. I do think, according to all the legal lads and ladies, this is significant. I mean, Glenn Kirshner said, Oath Keepers found guilty, a very good day for our republic. The defendants tried to convince the jury they were patriots, trying to set right a stolen election. The jury, 12 citizen sittings, as the conscience of the community told them, you are not patriots, you're traitors.
Found guilty of sedition, which never
is hard to prove.
Happens.
Yeah. And so Rob Reiner quickly just said, Oath Keepers Stuart Rhodes found guilty of seditious conspiracy. He committed the federal crime at the behest of one man, Donald Trump. Time to indict the ringleader. I mean, it sure does seem like Jack Smith is working his way there. I mean, I know we're not supposed to get happy. Bob Cesca rule.
Well, I do feel happy about this, Stephanie. I do feel as though Jack Smith is doing his job, and I think we're going to get an indictment of Donald Trump out of this, at least one indictment, because obviously he keeps committing crimes. So there's going to be more things rolled into the process. Who knows how many different indictments or how many different charges are going to be involved in that indictment. But with Stuart Rhodes and some of these other insurrectionists, I think this is proof positive that throughout the past 2 years since the insurrection itself, so many of these insurrectionists have been brought to justice and held accountable. I think what we often do is, just because Donald Trump hasn't been indicted yet, being an ex-president, that having never happened in the history of the republic, the fact is that all of these insurrectionists continue to be brought to justice, and I think that's a very positive thing. And I think we need to, maintain some level of some level of encouragement, some level of happiness, as you say.
Now, in this last.
Over that aspect of the investigation and the prosecutions, because that's all good news, and I think that's something we can credit the Department of Justice with. They've done a lot of difficult work, I think, with this thing.
Yeah, and I know we're going to fight over this last one, but Rod tweeted, "All I want for Christmas is to watch Stephanie Miller and Jody Hamilton getting giggly and weird when the indictments come." We're going to fight over our shared binky, Jody Hamilton. Let's hope the indictments come on a Tuesday, and I know you're going to hope that it's your weird day with Jody when it happens. So,
right. Well, when they do come, it'll be 2 minutes after I finish a show, making that episode entirely irrelevant, which seems to be the case with my show. I don't know why that. I don't know what I did to the universe to deserve that, but it happens.
May I just say the Bob Cesca Show is indispensable whenever it drops. I listen.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to listen on my bike right now. You know I am. Yeah.
And then you're gonna listen.
BobCescaShow.com
Yeah.
is the Patreon. Yeah.
There you go. Patreon and Sexy Liberal Podcast
And
Network.
and
yes.
then you're going to listen to the latest album from Nick Fuentes' Sexual Logic.
Yes.
Gross.